There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Grown Folks Talking Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. And the disclaimer I like to make is the music that you heard is strictly for the listening pleasure of our audience, and we are not here to make any type of profit off of our dear brother Bob Marley or any other artist that is being played on this network. So, family, you know how we do out there. We put ourselves on mute, and I'm going to introduce to you someone who was introduced to me by a dear friend, Sister Ariel, the yoga instructor, she's been up here before. In fact, you guys heard her when she interviewed Corinne from Santo Domingo. I believe that was the country. And she introduced me to my next guest, and her name is Sister Agatha. Sister Agatha, are you on?
Yes. Hello. How are you?
How are you, my dear? Okay. So, everybody, make sure you have your phone on mute, because if you don't have your phone on mute, you know I love you. It's nothing against you guys, but Mr. Williams will mute you if you make any noise, because it takes away from the listening audience's ears when we have distracting noise. Y'all know that, okay? So everybody knows. And Sister Agatha, that's for the first-time caller-ins or new people to the network. So with that being said, I would just like to welcome you to the Grown Folks Talking Network and my listeners, Sister Agatha. And like I said, no one can give a better bio of themselves than the person I'm bringing on as my guest. So if you'd like to say hello to the audience, give a quick bio of yourself and what you do and what you're good at, because you and I have had an off-the-cuff conversation, and I plan on seeing you. And we all, family, have challenges out there. So this is going to be a real healthy next 2 hours, not just with my dear Sister Agatha, but with our naturopath, plant-based for 40 years, Brother Rashad Al-Amin, will conclude the show. So Sister Agatha, I'm going to hand you the mic, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So my name is Agatha. My journey began with illness. I developed Epstein-Barr when I was 20 years old, and I went, to doctors like any 20-year-old would do when I didn't feel well. And I went from doctor to doctor. They gave me all kinds of medications, but I wasn't getting better. So I started taking my own health into my own hands, and I started looking for alternative ways to heal. And what happened on my journey is I actually went to Dr. Robert Atkins, and I met the first Dr. Robert Atkins. Oh my gosh! So that was over probably about 40 years ago, and it started there. And he, at the time, they didn't know what I had, because Epstein-Barr was really they didn't know the blood work to run or what to do about it. So I just started going there, and when he checked my blood pressure and all my vitamins, he saw that I was low in a lot of things, and he put me on a high-protein diet, and that sustained me for a while, but it really wasn't getting to the root of my illness. And then I want to say 10 years later, they had blood tests, and they found that I had the Epstein-Barr virus in my bloodstream. And, going to all doctors and trying all medications, nothing was working for me. So I started studying, and I started studying alternative medicine. I had a pretty high corporate job at the time. I was working for one of the biggest shipping companies in the country, Maersk Lines, and I was working for the VP of Ocean, but I was very sick. I had no life. Like, I would come home, I would work all day, come home, and only have enough energy to sleep, and wake up and do it all over again. So I didn't have quality of life. And I remember my doctor saying to me, well, Agatha, you don't die from Epstein-Barr. And I said, well, you don't really want to live either, because I don't feel like I have a quality of life. And as I started to change the way I ate and started taking supplements, and then I started working on my grief and pain that I've gone through. I went through a pretty tough childhood. My parents were Italian immigrants, and they didn't get along very well, and they were kind of volatile. But Italians don't get divorced. They don't do that. It was just a lot of, drama and um, yelling, screaming, which created a lot of trauma for me and as a young kid. And I was a sensitive child. At the time I didn't know how intuitive I was and, how psychic I was. And a lot of, my home life affected me very deeply. So as I started to study Chinese medicine, I started studying under Paul Pitchford. He is one of the top 10 Chinese medicine men in the country. I took a lot of his classes. And I started working on energy work. I started learning how to do energy work and acupressure. I went to a Korean school at the time. And I really realized that, illness is not just illness. It's what we eat. It's how we think. It's what we've been through. I mean, there's so many facets that come from illness. So as I started to go to school, and then I started to do both jobs. I was doing corporate, and I was also in the shipping industry, and I was also doing what I was learning on the side. I got my massage license and my acupressure license, and then I learned nutrition I became a health coach through the Institute of Integrated Nutrition in Manhattan. And then I just let go of my corporate job, and I started doing this full time. And now I've been doing it about 25 years. So I incorporate trauma release and, nutrition and energy work. And I treat people as a whole. It's body, it's mind, and of course it's spirit. Because, a lot of doctors look at one part of the body, psychotherapists look at the mind part of the body, but, we're all that integrated into one. And I really realize that it's not what we've gone through, it's what we hold on to. And, some people can go through the most horrific things, but they really let go of it. And then others, they hold on deeply to it. And that's basically my bio.
Okay, well, now, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you, my dear, because, and just to share with my audience, because everyone knows that I have a visual impairment. I had talked to you before about the eyes, and we also have some people who are listening that have shows on this network, by the way, Sister Agatha, and they're local. What can you tell us? Well, I just did some acupuncture treatments with Andy Rosenfarb, and Ariel accompanied me when I went, and I went for 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Pretty good. My readings came down in terms of visual, and when I say my readings came down from what I went in, from when I went ahead to printout, and I made an improvement, slight improvement, and I feel and I see the improvement. But also my diet, because you and I had talked, I tell you now, I've been plant-based going on 11 years now, and I feel great. And, I find out just through my journey, Sister Agatha, that the less I eat, the better I feel. But I eat nutrient-dense food, meaning that I just finished a smoothie, all right? And the only thing I had was I juiced, and I loaded up a 3-quart glass bottle of raw juice, all right? I had my coconut water. I took my supplements, and I feel full. But then I've trained my body over the years not to eat much, but to make sure I just put things that nourish my cells. And that's why I want to have a meeting, family, for you guys out there listening, because Agatha will give you our contact information. By the way, what city and state are you located in again, Agatha, for the listening audience?
I'm in New Jersey, and I am in Hackensack.
Okay, which is right next to Patterson. I used to promote my shows back in the day in Patterson, back in the 90s. So very familiar with Hackensack. And in fact, you guys got a Restaurant Depot out there. I come out there for some stainless steel products, But anyhow, getting back to the subject at hand, one thing about my listeners, a lot of them have cleaned up their diet. Yeah, Miss Carol is probably listening. She does the it's in the Miss Carol, if you're listening, help me here. The diet.
Daniel fast.
Daniel fast. Thank you. They do the Daniel fast. That's Miss Carol, by the way. She has the pink sofa, Mr. Agatha. And
Hello.
And they do the Daniel fast every year, the 21 day, and some of them have extended beyond that. I'm sorry. Any other time with Sister Agatha, you know how it is, it would roll off my lips, but the Daniel fast, yes, And I'm going to tell you something. I'm 66. I feel like I'm 30. We had a previous show before my show came on. We had a wonderful time reminiscing off of some of the old school music when music was music, Sister Agatha, because we're about the same. Let's say you and I are about the same decade, just like Sister
Yes,
Carol.
we are.
Yes.
Yes,
So, make a long story short, because I plan on coming to see you. And I met people when I was at this acupuncture place. They came in from, he had them flying in from Canada. I met a nice lady. She was from California. Met a gentleman from Indiana, one from Ohio. So this gentleman is very good at what he does. And when I talked to some of the people, they told me they've been coming there for years, and his technique is good. And he told me he has studied Chinese medicine in China. He has pictures in his lobby, and he has the Chinese writings on the wall. So he learned his craft, and I felt pretty confident. I felt good, And a lot of people, they have fear of. Now you said acupressure, and I'd like for you to explain the difference between acupressure and acupuncture, because I got the needles. All right.
Yes.
And when I say family, let me say this to your family. It's just a little pinch. That's all it is. A lot of people have fear of needles, but could you explain the difference between acupuncture and acupressure, Sister Agatha?
Well, basically, it is the needles, and I feel that hands are more healing than needles, but I mean, they're both incredible. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. But I used to work for a few acupuncturists. They would call me in because they wanted me to work on the children, right? Because children don't like needles and they can't sit still, and they're really afraid. So for me, it's really just the same. We're working on the meridian system, and for people who don't know what that is, that's the gateway to the organ. It's the chi flow to every organ in the body. So in Chinese medicine, we believe, like in Western medicine, they believe, something's wrong with the liver. Let's go explore the liver. Let's explore the gallbladder, right? But in Chinese medicine, we heal the meridian, which is the gateway to the organ, which we know that it will heal the organ. And I explain to my clients, think of the meridians as little windows. As we get stressed out, those windows shut and they lock. So what an acupuncturist does is he goes into those meridians with needles to open up the chi flow. I use my fingers to open up the chi flow. And it's not a deep tissue. I do therapeutic acupressure. There are deep tissue acupressure people too, but that's not how I work. So when I just go in and with my fingers, I open up the meridians, which opens the window, which has the chi, start to flow within the body. And then what it does is that energy that moves faster into the organs, it creates blood flow, it creates circulation, and then the organs start to heal, and you see a lot of energy you feel a lot of energy that's moving into the body, because when we get stressed, our energy shuts down and it blocks. And when we have trauma, our trauma can get stuck on our body. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, I can give you an example. I had a client that came to me for grief. And as I worked on her, she had very deep grief for her mother. She said to me, I'd like for you to work on my daughter. And I said, sure. She said, she's 20 years old. And she was molested when she was like 6 or 8 years old by her music teacher.
Wow.
And she said, and she has severe anxiety. So in the energy body, the right side of the body, and I'm talking about the energy body now, the right side of the body is male, and it's the physical body. The left side of the body is female. And it's the emotional side of the body. So when I started working on this girl, now she had an incredible relationship with her mother. She told her mother right away what happened with her music teacher, and they went to therapy right away. They, addressed it quickly, and she started doing all this work. Now, here she was, 19 or 20. So as I started working on the right side of the body, I always start on the right, her body started seizing. And her daughter was like, Agatha, what is that? I don't understand. And I said, don't worry. It's the trauma leaving the body. So the trauma started to release itself and leave the body. Now, when I got to the left side of the body, her body was fine. Why? Because she had a lot of talk therapy and she was going to the doctor. So they addressed all that part of what happened to her, right? But the physical trauma that was still stuck in her body didn't leave since she was 6. And here she was like 19, right? So now that released, and then she wasn't getting anxiety attacks anymore. Because, what we go through doesn't make us stronger. That's a myth. What we go through gets pushed down, buried, and we don't address it, and then it gives us problems in other areas of our life. So, and everyone is very bio-individual. It all depends on how you go through something. Even with food, I can treat one illness. I'll give you an example. And like the same illness, 5 people could have it, and they have to have 5 different diets sometimes. It's like, right? I mean, a doctor will give you, let's say, oh, you're diabetic, eat this way. You have heart problems, eat this way. And they do that to everyone. But it doesn't work that way because our body chemistry and our bio-individuality and what we've gone through in our life makes up more of our, problems more than just doing one straight diet across the board. So I have to treat everyone differently. So that's just an example of, that's why I don't believe in just one way of eating or one way of living. But one thing I do feel that is very similar that I've noticed throughout the years is we do have to cleanse. And we have to cleanse a couple of times a year. And we're the only country that doesn't do this. Like, I address parasite cleansing, mold cleansing, yeast cleansing. I mean, we always have to start there. And we have to do this a few times a year. Like, if you go to Europe, I just came back from Italy. I was there for like 3 months. They do 2 to 3 parasite cleanses a year. If I speak to people from India, they do a couple parasite cleanses a year. The same thing with Mexicans, a lot of Mexican families that come to me. I mean, this is something that all over Europe, they know what to do. India knows to do it. But, America, this is never brought up. It's never talked about. But, we have a macrobiome, and creatures live in that macrobiome. And if you don't constantly clean it, and address it, it can get, you can get extreme dysbiosis. You can get a lot of problems within your body. And, parasites are one of the number one. What I see most in my practice is parasites mold, and candida. And these are the three things that I always like to address first, to just clear the body of it as much as possible. And now I believe, and so do a lot of natural practitioners, ever since COVID, we've seen a lot of fungus. So I don't know if the fungus and the mold and the candida came from the actual virus, or was it the vaccine? I don't even want to go there. But I'm just saying, now there's even more mold on top of, what was going on a normal day, And, there are people who believe that, let's say, kidney stones, fibroids, tumors, gallstones are parasite stool. That's what they believe, and that's something I address all the time. I always, and depending on people's age and depending, how old they are and how weak they are, you can't just cleanse everybody. Some people are so weak that I have to build them up first. And then, maybe we'll address a cleanse in 6 months to a year. Other people, I could start a cleanse right away. And in the elderly, you have to be very careful, when you're cleansing. And in the very young, now I see children born, with parasites, born with severe mold and candida, because now we decided to do fungicide, pesticide on everything, and here, the food, you don't even know how bad our food system is here until you leave here. I buy organic and I do all that, but it doesn't matter. I don't even feel our organics are really as pure. And if you asked me that 2 years ago, I would never have agreed to that. But now when I spent so much time in Italy, I just noticed, like, I buy expensive organic food. I always say I have designer food when other people have designer shoes and cars. I put my money into my food for my health. And when I went to Italy, I would go to the market I spent 3 months there, so I really saw a huge difference. And I go to the market and I would put my groceries in the fridge. And the first time I went, I was used to shopping the way Americans shop. We buy a lot. Even though I live alone, I purchase a lot, to get me through maybe a week or two, whatever. Everything started rotting in the refrigerator there. Everything was just rotting, and I had to throw everything basically away, and a week didn't even go by. I was like, oh my gosh, I could only go every 3 days to purchase my food and cook it. I was like, wow, look what we're doing to our produce here. And I'm buying organic produce. I'm buying from farmers markets in the summer when I can, and I'm buying from, sometimes expensive delivery services and, Whole Foods and, Trader Joe's and all the places I need to go. But no, it doesn't die the way it does there. I even noticed, like, mayonnaise. I bought mayo and the mayo went bad. I was like, wow, what we do, all the preservatives that we keep in our food so it stays like sustainable in our refrigerator is really scary, And then I noticed, like, the meats. I was going to a local butcher, and he owned the farm. So he was, he had the farm, and then I was purchasing, and I mean, you don't get no more farm to table than that, right? And then I noticed here, I can't touch gluten. I cannot touch it. I am deathly ill. But I knew I didn't have celiac. I've been tested anyway, but I knew I never had celiac. And I grew up, Italian. I had pasta and bread. That was a staple in my home every day. But I got deathly ill. Now, my parents didn't, and then I started thinking about that when I went there. My parents didn't leave Europe until they were in their 30s. So they were raised so healthy. Everything they were farmers, so everything they ate there was farm to table. And when they came here, even though I believe the food changed here probably in 1970s or 80s. That's when they started uh, creating hybrid wheat. It's just hybrid wheat is basically two strands of wheat that they put together and create another strand. Then no one even knows what this is. The body doesn't recognize it, no, because it's a strand that doesn't exist. But then they started spraying heavily with glyphosate. I mean, and glyphosate kills our dirt. So you can imagine what it's doing to your microbiome. And I got deathly ill. And when I was there, I was able to eat pasta and bread. So now when I came home, I started purchasing, importing. There are local stores, like we have like a food bazaar here, and you could find some of those brands, the Italian brands of pasta, in the food bazaar. And others, I was getting some online Italian importers, and I was getting some things delivered to my house. So I've been purchasing the flour there, the pasta there, and I'm back to baking my own bread and my own wraps and eating that type of pasta, and I'm absolutely fine. So, I mean, I really didn't even realize how bad it was until I lived there for 3 months. And we're spending a lot of money on food here.
Sister Agatha, quick question. I'll go backtracking just a little. When you mentioned that babies were born with parasites, and is that something that's two-tier question? Is that something that's passed from, obviously I would think, from the mother to the infant? And when the baby's born, have you ever seen, because when the baby poops into the pamper or whatever the kind of diaper they put on, have you ever seen or known a case where, not trying to sound graphic, but there's parasites coming out of the baby's rectum?
Well, I haven't physically seen that, but I see it all the time in 3-year-olds. All right, so what happens is, first of all, parasites are passed to each other, mother and father. We get the parasites first. Like your father can give it to the mother can give it to the father. Any sexual partners, okay, you're passing parasites on to. Number one. Number two, then you get pregnant, and of course, then the mother is giving it to her child. I've had plenty of mothers that had severe parasites, and then their children were born, and they were born with parasites,
Right.
and they have to do parasite cleanses on even newborns now. I'm not the type of person that would do that. I tend to wait. I work with people when they're 3-4 years old. I don't consider myself an expert with newborns. I would never, attempt something like that. That's beyond my scope. But I know doctors that do that, and I'll just tell them about them. But for me personally, yeah, anyone who knows, holistic medicine, they know that it's definitely passed on through the mother and the father.
So when you treat, when you see in the 3 to 5 year olds that you, I would assume, treated, how does it come? Do you see it in his stool, or you just automatically give it to him, not assuming, but maybe you do a testing for it? I mean, how does the test show that child has parasites?
Well, first, I know the mother gets ill, and she's not doing too well, and so I know already that it's passed on. But then I do muscle testing on the mother. I do muscle testing on the children, and what the mothers tell me is that they have brain fog, they're not speaking well, they're not talking well, and immediately after being put on parasite medicine, and certain brain foods that I like to apply, they're starting to feel better right away. It's like unbelievable. I guide the parents into parasite medicine, and they purchase it. It's like a spray and a liquid that goes in their water, and then right away the children are talking better. they're communicating better. They're using full sentences. It's like, and then they see it in their stool. And then they send me photos and things like that they're catching in their stool. I've had mothers that literally have pulled out worms out of their children's rectum when they go on a parasite cleanse. Yeah. It's, and here, because we're run by big pharmacies here, they don't want you to get better on a $25 bottle of herbs. They need to they're making some big money from all this medicine, so you're spending $25, $40, $50 on, some parasite medicine. But in Italy, they have something called Vermox, which is, guess what? I never even knew what it was until I went there and I purchased it and I started reading it. It's ivermectin. And what did they stop selling here during COVID?
Ivermectin. Hydroxychloroquine. Yep.
Yes. They stopped, and that's what they use to parasite cleanse. So the way they do it is, in a box comes 6 tablets. So they take a round of 3, 1 a day, and then you wait till the 10th day, and then you take another round of 3, 1 a day. So what that does is, first it kills, the worms, and then the second round kills the eggs, right? And they do that twice, sometimes twice or 3 times a year in Italy and most of Europe. A lot of them use that. And it's known to kill viruses. It's like incredible for viruses. One of my friends, he's incredible, scientist, and he reads so much, and he's actually a psychedelic therapist, and he has a lot of science. Like, he's a botanist. He knows a lot of things, and he said that they found that ivermectin is now being used for certain cancers, and it's incredible. I know it's incredible for Epstein-Barr because it kills the Epstein-Barr virus. So I feel that all of us right now, 90% of people that are walking around ill are walking around with, of course, viruses in their body, yeast, mold, and parasites. That's the number one thing that I see and I focus on in my practice, and everyone tends to get better after that.
They do, because just to share with you, we have a show in this program, because we have a little over 20 shows on this network. And on Thursday night at 7 p.m., same number, Sister Agatha, we have Carl Wagner and his health coaches, and they work with people with a natural modalities to help heal themselves once they have cancer, basically to clean up their diets. And I spoke to Carl last year, and he revealed to me that thought he had caught COVID, and he got that ivermectin, and he took quercetin, vitamin C, D3. And he recovered real quick. And he said in 3 to 4 days he was back to normal, But see, this country, or should I say some of the doctors, I guess, who have been bought and sold or compromised, they always said that ivermectin, they used to put it, when I had a young lady Google it, they said that was the horse drug, that it shouldn't be given to humans. But the guy that created that, from what I understand, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. There was one for animals, but they don't tell you about the one that's for the human consumption.
Right. I think they used to deworm horses with that, right? That's what I remember, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard, but it is a different pill. It's not the same one that they use.
Not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what, Sister Agatha, I don't want to hold up the listening audience, because maybe they might have a comment or questions. They may want to ask you something pertaining to their health. So, family.
Sure.
Unmute yourself, and once again, my guest name is Agatha. All right. If there's any comments or questions, step up to the podium and unmute yourself, because sometimes people talk on mute by mistake. Go right ahead, family.
I'm unmuted. How you doing, Agatha?
Good. How are you,
Deborah? I'm good. That's interesting information. My first question would be, how did you get this ivermectin now? If it's so,
Oh no, I got it
They,
in Italy, not here. But I know that I've heard a lot of people have been doing like these Google searches where you can purchase it from Canada. But I'm going to tell you, you want to hear something sad? In Italy, a box of ivermectin was $3. Right?
I know where you going.
Can you imagine? Some depending on the strength. Then if it was like 1,000 milligrams or more, it was $6. Okay, and online, from Canada, they're getting $35 a box.
wow.
Rip off.
Unbelievable.
Well, I guess if you really want it, you got to pay for it, huh?
Unbelievable. It's like, and I know people, though, that have done Google searches, and they have heard. I have a lot of friends that they keep it in their house in case they did get COVID, and they were using it. I've had two friends that recovered, like your friends, recovered very quickly from it, But it's just unbelievable. That's all it costs over there.
Well, my next question would be, how do you deal with, like, natural, how do you deal with, like, water retention and, like diabetes? Is there anything that you would recommend for someone who is dealing with that, like with the swollen feet and stuff like that?
Well, what I want to know always is, I don't deal with symptoms, that's how doctors work, right? But I want to know what's behind that symptom, because in my practice, a lot of people that have water retention and have things like that going on, they have fatty liver and their gallbladder's not working well, so it's like, where's this water coming from? Because here you have water in your system. They're just giving you some water pills, to release the water out of your system. But my question is, why? I'd like people to get like a liver gallbladder sonogram. Let's see, is your liver not working right? Or are you eating really high salty foods? Are you eating high fatty foods? That's what I want to know. And then, I like to cure the cause, to go after the cause. Okay, not cure. We don't want to use that word. Well, I like to go after the cause.
Right.
And like, if it's the gallbladder, I love golden thread. And that's an incredible, pill that really helps the gallbladder and cleans out, the gallbladder, if people have gunk and their gallbladder's not moving properly. And then I love Schisandra for the liver. That's another herb that I use, like if they have fatty liver congestion, and even artichoke capsules are incredible for the liver. I mean, that's one of the most, anything bitter, you want to think really bitter for the liver, right? So artichoke capsules are like amazing for the liver, and it also helps in balancing hormones in a lot of people. So so for me, it's like always about what's behind the symptoms, because the symptoms are just our bodies telling us that something's not right, but it's, and then I like to dig deeper than that. And also, this is what I tell everyone. You don't have to be an acupressurist to buy a meridian chart, right? And then look at the pain you're having. See where the pain is. Is it going down the right outside of your leg, right? Is it hurt in your knee and you have no knee problems? Do you have sciatic nerve pain but you don't have back problem? Well, that's the gallbladder meridian. And that right there tells me your gallbladder is not working too well. A lot of sciatic nerve is a gallbladder problem. And people are going to the chiropractor every week, to the acupuncturist every week. And that's expensive. And, if you can purchase a bottle of golden thread and take a capsule every day, and a lot of people, all of a sudden, their gallbladder starts working better, along with a healthy diet change. Like, I'll change their diet too. I'm a big fan of the Mediterranean diet. That's, what I am
that's
a fan
good.
of. I like the Mediterranean diet. So it's like little things like that. But doctors, they don't talk about this because, you're going to cure your gallbladder with a $25 bottle of golden thread when they're taking your gallbladder out. You understand?
Right. What if you getting that already? If you had the gallbladder removed, then what?
Right, and then you're worse because without I just that's the part that really makes me a little crazy about Western medicine is them feeling that, oh, you don't need your spleen, you don't need your gallbladder, you don't need your adenoids. No, we need everything. We're born this way. We're born perfect. The thing is, let's fix it. Let's clear it. Let's not remove it because then people are not digesting right. People without a gallbladder, I have to put them on digestive enzymes for the rest of their life, basically.
Okay.
Digestive enzyme.
Yes,
Hello,
because
can I ask you a question?
Hey,
Sure.
Dr. James. Wait a minute. Hold up. Dr. James, give me 1 minute. We got to make sure Sister DeBoer is done first before we bring on our beloved Dr. James. Hold on, Dr. James.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me 1 minute, Doc.
Ernestine chimed in, too.
Oh, okay. So who was next, DeBoer? Was it Ernestine?
Ernestine. Go ahead.
Okay, Ernestine, then you, Dr.
Next time,
James.
wait until we finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't want her to go past and I forget because you was touching on it.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
I wanted to know my question was, what if they had their gallbladder removed? What would you do? And you said the digestive enzymes, and I asked, what are those?
Okay, so I love, there's different types of digestive enzymes, but I feel the ones that work best, it's like, the body has a hard time digesting fats and proteins once the gallbladder is removed. So I love, there's two of them. One is by Veravita, all right? That's the name of the company, and they don't sponsor me or anything like that, just so you know, because I'm not here trying to be sponsored. But it's one is called Veravita, and it's called Gastro Digest. And then I love Thorne products, and they have one called Advanced Digest Enzymes. And, they help the body break down the protein now because now you don't have your gallbladder really helping you digest anymore. Or any kind of bitters, too. You can purchase, remember the old school bitters that they would make like with alcohol? And you could drop that in your mouth before you eat, or take one digestive enzyme every time you eat. Because when people don't have a gallbladder, they really need to be on digestive enzymes for the rest of their life, basically.
Okay.
Ernestine, you there?
I said thank you. You ain't everything.
Okay, no, I got you. Okay. Is there any more questions, Sister Ern?
No, man. No, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is Ada. I like to go behind Dr.
Dr. James, sure. Dr. James, step right up.
How you doing? Let me ask you a question. What's good for kidney problems, renal failure, renal problems?
Well, that I like things like you ever hear of alma? It's a gooseberry, right? That's it's a powder. This is more Indian, Arabic. I like that one better. It's called alma, ALMA. All right. So that's something that I like to take, and you can make I like the powder, and you can drink it as a tea, or you can also buy the capsules, right? But then I like, for your diet, I love kidney foods, like beans are great for the kidneys. Celery is great for the kidneys. Celery root is really good for the kidneys. Seaweeds are great, to eat seaweeds. I don't know if you like them. I love seaweeds. I like to eat them. I'll make salads with them too. I just like those types of foods. for the kidney. Berries are great too, all kinds of berries.
Okay.
And also, a lot of people don't know goji berries are incredible for the kidneys. Have you heard of the goji berry?
Yeah, we have. Can you hear me? Yeah. They have Costco sells goji berries. They sell chocolate-covered goji berries, but they're good. I don't know.
I'm sure they're tasty, but I'd rather you just purchase the goji berry and boil it. You could boil it and make a tea. You could boil the goji berry and make a tea and drink the tea out of the goji berry. That's incredible for your kidneys.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some of those. The other question I have is, you were talking about the cleanse. Now, you're saying viral cleanse, parasite cleanse, mold cleanse. Is there anything to take that would give you cleanse everything, all of those things, or you have to take separate things? And what separate things would you take?
Exactly. I go one step at a time. See, for me, cleansing is like I wouldn't do.
Hello?
You could. Can you hear me?
You go ahead, Dr. James. You can't hear us, Dr. James? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry about that, Agatha. Go ahead, Agatha.
Okay, so I would do parasite and candida. I would do at once. That's something I would do together. Okay, so then have you heard of moringa? I like those capsules by Supreme Nutrition, which is neem, right? Moringa is neem. I like
that. Is that the moringa green tea? The moringa green tea? I think I got that.
No.
No.
Moringa is something totally separate. I have some moringa powder. Comes in tea bags too. Dr. K sells it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I stepped my bounds. Good. Mm-hmm.
No, that's fine. And he's right. You can get, some people take the powder, they could add it to their smoothies. Some people drink the tea. And I like capsules. I just find that my clients take capsules better because, years ago when I was doing this, I would have the herbs and I'd have them boil it, for parasite cleanses and things like that. But people were not doing them as well. Now when they can open a bottle and just swallow a pill, they just like that better. Mm-hmm. So I like Supreme Nutrition. They're an incredible herbal company. I find that they have really quality herbs that come in a capsule. And they have Mila is one that does candida and parasites, and so is moringa, does candida and parasites. And then for mold, I love black cumin oil. All right. I love black cumin oil, but there's also black cumin essential oil, and Vera Vita has that. It's more potent, and I like that. You can put like 10 drops every day in your water or in your tea, or you could buy like a real high quality black cumin oil, and you could take a tablespoon a day, or there are some pills out there too. That sells, high quality black cumin oil. But then I have to go step by step. Like what I'll do is first it comes parasite. See, years ago, a lot of the holistic healers and, holistic people, they would do liver. Let's do the liver cleanse. But I learned, through the years and within my own practice, I've just noticed that, when you cleanse the liver, then it gets all backed up again in a month or two, because if you don't address the parasites first and then address, the candida and the mold, it's almost like, you have the bathtub, and it's like you open up the bottom and let it drain, but it's getting clogged because there's all this junk and water in the bathtub. But if you clean out the parasites, then the mold, then the candida, right, then you can start addressing the organs. Okay, let me see, then we can do gallbladder, right, maybe kidney, and then like some gut issues, and you can address that. Then by the time you get to the liver, when you pull the plug on the bathtub, the water's going right down, and the filtering is getting completely released. But if you don't address the other things that are going on in the body, the liver is getting clogged up again. Makes sense?
You got that, Dr. James? You always put yourself on mute. I don't know why until you.
Yeah, I was on mute. But the other thing is, the last thing is about astragalus. Do you like astragalus?
What are you using it for?
Well, isn't that like it builds up your immune system for a lot of things?
Yes, it's great. Astragalus, I just want to know what you're using it for. Astragalus is great for viruses and autoimmune diseases. I love it it's great for Epstein-Barr, actually, the virus I have. It's incredible for Lyme's also. So it's good for a lot of viruses. So, yeah, I do like astragalus.
All right, I'm finished. Thank you.
Yeah, Adrian, thank you, Dr. James. But Adrian, before you come on, I just want to say this. I always make sure whenever I do my smoothies, just to share what you says and I always use. It's a little pricey, family. You heard Agatha talking about how she spends. You make an investment in your health with your nutrition, and sometimes you gotta go above and beyond. And I know some people take, for instance, over the summer, I had a gentleman, he delivers seeded watermelons to me. Now, if there's a nice size, and Adrian knows who I'm talking about, if it's a nice size, it's $15. Real humongous one, $20. Okay. One day he brought, over this past summer, he brought me. I went to meet him at the truck, and he put the watermelon in my hand. So the lady across the street, she said, "Excuse me, how much are those watermelons?" He said, "15 and 20." She said, "I can go to ShopRite and get 2 of those for $10." He said, "Well, ma'am,
they're seedless."
No, I'm telling you. Listen. I'm telling you what she said. But see, those are seedless watermelons, and like myself and King David and Brother Rashad up here, we always say, Brother Leon, what grows without a seed? Doesn't make any. What? Just like a Frankenstein watermelon. But I listen. To each his own. You want to go down there just for the taste of a watermelon because they're growing them in the laboratories? Go right ahead.
Well, you know what happens when you take out the seed? Do you know what happens? The fruit becomes candy. It's 100 times sweeter. It messes with the glucose in the body, and it's no longer a fruit. Now it's a candy.
Wow.
Well, I just wanted to share. Hey, Miss Adrian, go right ahead. You can step right up.
Okay. How you doing, ma'am?
Fine. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm just wondering, I heard you say that you're not far out. Did you say you're out by near Pleasantville or something like that?
No, Hackensack. I'm in Hackensack.
Hackensack, okay.
But I work virtually.
Huh?
I work virtually. I mean, I do this over the computer every day. I don't need to physically see you, I work virtually all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just like, I don't know what the cost would be, but I would like to be one of your clients. I have worked over the past 2 years and in getting my health better, and this podcast has helped me because I've been taking a lot of advice from John, and don't tell him, but from Forrest also, because I will never admit that to him. I don't listen to him. But a lot of the people on the podcast, and I have gone from 460 pounds in the past, since before COVID, to I'm now at 220. But
wow,
I'm not
amazing.
finished, and I'm trying to get to a complete health level where I'm happy. I'm not doing this for anybody else. I'm doing this for Adrian because I'm the only one. I'm the most important person in my life.
That's right.
I was thinking as you were talking, I was like, I need to be able to talk to her on a regular basis, and I don't remember a whole lot of things. I've had, they called it a mini stroke a long time ago, but I know I don't always remember things. So I need somebody that I can talk to on a regular basis. So like I said, I don't know what your price would be, but if I can afford it, I'd like to talk to you every once in a while just to tell you what I'm doing, where I'm going, what should I buy next. You talked about the black oil. I was excited. I said, I have that.
Yeah, it's very good. Mm-hmm.
And because there are things that what's his name for us with the health food store, the health place down, the health man. Abdul. You know, I've spoke to him. Matter of fact, he used to go to the same gym I went to, and he used to give me advice on what to buy, and I would buy things. You know, so that's what I've been doing over the years, and going to the health club daily. I stopped, but I'm gonna start going again. But see,
that's
this
great.
is what I think. This is what's missing right now with my journey is having a health person that I can speak to. Because my doctor, he just keeps referring me to counselors, and then they want to talk about what medications I can take. I don't want to take any more medications. You know, I take some because I need them. You know, but I try to go natural now. You know, so if there's
what I do is I give people a food chart, right? I give people a food chart, and well, you know, all you have to do is go to my website. It's cleanclearbody.com.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. I am totally blind. So unless your website talks that language, so to speak, like reads everything, you know, that's going to be a challenge for me.
Oh, no, it doesn't have that, no. Okay, I guess you can, can someone, I'll give you my phone number from the website. You know, can someone do that for you?
Yeah, I could get Miss Adrian's number to her. I'll have Ariel text it to her, Sister Agatha. That's not a problem. I'll get it to her.
Or you can give me her number, too.
Yeah. Miss Adrian, go right ahead.
I can give you my number.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready?
Wait,
like I tell people, I'm not in Florida. I'm in New Jersey. But my phone number is 407.
1 minute, wait. I just want to grab a pen.
Miss Adrian, she got to grab a pen. Hold on for a minute.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, dear.
407. 719-2962.
Okay.
And I'm in East Orange, New Jersey.
Okay, and you don't even have to come here. I'm telling you, we can do all of this on the phone.
I love leaving my house. No problem. No, I do. I just love going.
And also, Sister Agatha, just to let you know, Sister Deborah, the first one who chimed in, and Sister Adrian, they both have shows on this network. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know that, and their wealth of information when they come in, they always give a good positive vibe and energy when they do their prospective shows, just to share with you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Good to know you got the check for us.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And she has a good sense of humor, as you can see.
Yes, she does.
Yes. I wanted to ask you a question since you mentioned the food chart to Miss Adrian. Dr. Peter Adamo, I brought his book about 15 years ago called Eat Right for Your Type. Now, I have had some people say, listen, there was no such thing as eat right for your type. We ate from the earth. We ate from nature. What's your take? Because I read his book 12, 13 years ago. I got it from a health food store where he puts the different ethnicities, and you probably saw the book. It has a chart.
I remember it. Yeah, I remember it.
Mm-hmm. He had the Caucasian, the Mongoloid, and the Negroid, all right? And he said what their blood types were, and he tells you if you could have poultry. If you like, take for instance, I'm an A positive. That book prompted me because I said, wait, I'm reading this book, don't even know my blood type. So I went to the urology department, found out I was an A positive. Then I went back to his chart just to read it, and I was curious, all right? And I found out that they said that A positives are more vegetarian prone. Now the guys the people that have the old positive blood types, they have more acids, digestive acids in their stomach to break meat up as opposed to an A positive. So they're more prone to being carnivores, as we call them, or meat eaters. All right, because their system could break down blood. What's your take on that? Because our brother Rashad, who comes on, he's a naturopath. He debunks that, and I've had some people say that have come up here that are holistic. They said that's not necessary. Just eat from the earth. Eat, or in the words of Dr. Sabi, he said, eat what God made. But we all know sometimes people could be allergic to something like, take for instance, peanuts. They say peanut is a good protein, but some people they can get allergic. I know a gentleman who was a boxing instructor. He could chew carrots all day long. As soon as he juices them, his throat will swell up.
Well, you know? I believe, I don't believe in the body blood type either, because to me, I feel it's like seasons of your life too, that you could eat a certain way in seasons of your life, and other seasons of your life you can't eat that way. Like, hold
on, Sister Agatha, hold on. Mr. Williams, somebody's making noise. I think you need to mute them for me, soft mute, so they can come back on at *6. Okay, go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
So, like, I was vegan for almost 20 years at one point, right? But then when I became menopausal, I couldn't eat vegan anymore. My body, I got, went into atrophy, and then I was high protein and keto for a really long time. And then when I was under a lot of stress with my mother, I developed fatty liver from being high protein, and what cured me was a Mediterranean diet. So it's like, I believe it's the seasons of your life and what you're going through at a certain time. I mean, because certain organs are being affected by your emotions. Like liver is angry, you're angry. Kidneys are fear. A lot of people are fearful when they have kidney issues. Heart is sadness. Lungs are grief, so it's like, what are you going through at that season of your life? I mean, I just don't feel that we, there are some people who could eat the same diet for the rest of their life. There are some people that can eat the same food every single day. And I'm not that person either. I mean, who could eat the same food every day? But I really believe it's seasons, because I tell everybody, veggies are incredible. I do believe to have a high plant base in your diet. But also I tell people, if there's a woman being abused at home, all the broccoli in the world is not going to save her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because she's going through heavy emotional stress in her house, and her body is not going to be extremely healthy like someone like you who has a vegan diet right now, and you're great. But it depends on what your home life is, what's going on in your life. There's so many facets to it. So I don't really believe, because I'm an A positive too, and I did do great with veganism for many years. But then once I started losing estrogen, my body started getting crazy, and I couldn't sustain it anymore.
Right. Well, the brother I was telling you, I was coming on after you, my brother Rashad, he's been plant-based now for 40 years. Then you also have, I know you probably heard of the guy, he's a wonderful wealth of information. Sister Carol, unfortunately, her brother had passed away some years ago, and Brother Michael, he was about to bring on Dr. Gabriel Cousins, who's raw.
I know him, yes. He's known to cure diabetes through his raw diet. He was known for that he's cured all types of diabetes. I think he's in Arizona.
Arizona, yes.
Right.
Right. And I believe Carol's brother said that he went out there for a retreat. And he said, oh, man, he said, this guy got so much energy. And most of my diet, I share this when I talk with you, most of my diet is liquid. I find out that the more you don't eat cooked food, you don't have a taste for it. And what I do now is, me and Ariel, we went and got some, we went to the Jamaican place and we got some spinach patties. And I haven't had that in so very long. But the thing is that nutrition is basically, I believe, a state of mind, and it's the willpower to see what works for you, you know. And like you said, if it works for you, that's a beautiful thing, you know. And like I said, I'm 66. I feel 36. I work out, And I was listening to Gabriel Cousins. He said, man, sometimes I get down, I can't stop doing push-ups. And that's an energy I think everybody who's listening on this line can ascertain if they just took the time. And see, everybody's different. I understand people have different schedules. People have to go to work and things of that nature. And sometimes I have a lot of people tell me, well, I wasn't near anything healthy, so I had to eat what was near me. And I said, well, I know in my case, I know because I practice intermittent fasting. That's another thing I would like for you to touch on real quick. I can go another 2 or 3 hours until I get to a place where I can eat or go to the next day and drink some water. See, that's what people, this is just my opinion, all right? So everybody don't say I'm trying to force this on you. But if you can get there with your fasting, that would be great, because then you can go to bed and your stomach might growl, but you're having that ketosis and everything going on in your stomach. Well, the next day, when you wake up, it's not like you were ever hungry at all. If you practice that, it does wonders for the body. What's your take on intermittent fasting, my dear?
Well, see, the thing with me, I deal with so many sick people, and it's so, I have to explain to you, raw takes 100 times more energy in the digestion system to break down than it does for cooked food and for steamed food. So if I have someone with severe digestive problems, they can't even break down raw food. They're a hot mess. Like, they can't even do it. It's liquid is one thing, but then like a raw salad, something like that, they can't even break it down. If I have other people, if their body's running cold and they have a lot of yeast and mold in their body, if they're drinking a lot of juice, that creates more yeast and mold for them. Right. It's like so hard. I love intermittent fasting, but if you have insulin issues, if you have problems with sugar, a lot of people can't sustain doing an intermittent fast because their blood sugar crashes and goes down. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have people that young girls, a lot of young girls, when they intermittent fast, it's been known to really mess up their menstrual cycle too. I've had people like that. So, that's why I say it's like you have to listen to your own body. Like, you can't go with the fads of what's going on. Like right now the keto is so big. I can't touch a keto diet. My liver and gallbladder don't have that kind of energy that can break down all that fat. Like, I would get sick right away. I'd get exhausted, tired. My body can't break down the fat, And then there's people with, like I said, severe digestive problems. They can't go raw. And if they're cold and freezing, that makes them even colder. Like, it makes their body freeze. So it's like if your body's running really hot, if you have a hot body, like, juicing and raw food is amazing. But if you're a cold person, cold hands, cold feet, like, when they juice, they're freezing. They can't even keep warm. So it's like, for me, it's always been about bio-individuality and really getting to know your own body and listening to it and see what works for it and then what doesn't work for it. So I always say, if your body's running hot in Chinese medicine, we want to cool it off. If your body's running cold, we want to get you some warmer foods. If it's damp, we want to add in some dryness. If it's dry, we want to add in some coolness. Like, so I do horrible with any kind of dairy, milk, yogurt, all that. But if someone is so dry, some people thrive when you put in, some milk, and it makes them feel better. And so it all depends on what's going on.
Well, now, since you mentioned milk, pasteurized milk has been stripped of enzymes and nutrition. Would you recommend the non-dairy, like the almond milk, the coconut milk, what?
I like raw milk,
Raw milk,
I mean,
yes.
For people who can do dairy. If you can't do dairy, then, I like almond milk too, but You need to make it yourself because the almond milk that they're selling now is full of fillers and gums bothers the digestive system too. There's gargum in all almond milk. There's only one brand that I believe has no gums or anything like that, and that's a company called Malk, M-A-L-K, Malk. But you know how's another way to make your own, a fast way to make your own nut milk is there's a company that sells raw nuts, raw nut butter. They're called Artisan brand. Have you heard of them?
Yes. I have the walnut butter, yes.
Right. So all you do, all right, is if you put in 1 or 2 tablespoons of any of their nut butters, put in like about 3 to 4 cups of filtered water, blend that in your blender, and you got nut milk. You got nut milk. Boom.
well, wait a minute. You forgot one other machine that could be right there on your kitchen counter. What about that masticating juicer?
Oh, yeah, you could do. But I feel the way I see how nut milks make, we used to do it with a nut bag and the water and then squeeze it out and filter it, so there's different ways because the masticating juicer that I know, that's not going to get nut milk out. I mean, you need water to create nut milk.
No, that's true, and it has 2 different channels. I just purchased one about a month ago that will give you this, and Ariel did the research for me, and King David also gave me the information. This one can make it. You have to, of course, soak the nuts. And then when they soft, almonds, cashews, whichever one you put in, it can make the almond juice. This one has that feature. It starts with a C. I forgot the name of the company. If Ariel was listening, she would probably know the name of the company. I'll get it for you next time we talk. Yeah, but I got one that'll give you the nut milk, yes.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, go right ahead, Ms. Adrian.
When you make the nut milk, because I'm listening, and I'm like, I can do that. I have a juicer. I have a blender. When you make the nut milk on your own, how long does it stay good? Do you have to drink it like in 24 hours? Can you refrigerate it? Can you freeze it?
You have to drink it right away. That's the only downside to it. It usually goes bad within 24 hours. But when you have a blender and artisan nut butter, you can make 1 glass at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're using a tablespoon of nut butter, excuse me, and some water, good filtered water, and you blend that up, you could drink that today and then make another one tomorrow. You don't have to make it in bulk, and that's basically what I do.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else who hasn't had a chance to speak to Sister Agatha for either a question or a comment? Step right up.
Yes, I have a question.
Go right ahead, my brother.
Okay. Like I think I make a lot of nut milks and seed milk. And I like the seed milks the best because you can sprout them and they become more nutritious. I have a couple of health groups and I always teach them to make seed milk because it's more nutritious and it's a little bit cheaper than seed milk.
Okay.
And I want to make
I love seed milk. Yeah, that's 100 times. I love sprouts. I'm a big advocate for sprouts. But in Chinese medicine, most people who sprout in the raw food world, they sprout for and eat them raw. No, in Chinese medicine, we don't do that. We sprout and cook and steam them or cook them. Like I'll make beans, I'll sprout them, then I cook beans the way I normally do. When you sprout and cook, it's instantly digested. So now a fat becomes an amino acid, and it's like a sugar becomes a simple sugar. Like right away, it gets instantly digested and absorbed. People who can't even touch beans when they come to me, like if they can't eat beans at all, I tell them sprout your lentils, then cook them, and just eat them like you normally would if they were cooked. Now they just have little tails. Now the chlorophyll is 100 times stronger to 1,000 times stronger, depending on what you're sprouting, and those minerals get instantly digested right into the system. Like, I love broccoli sprouts. I heal so many women with hormone issues with broccoli sprouts. And there's a lot of people who can't eat broccoli because it gives them too much gas. But if you get broccoli seeds, sprout them and eat them, it's like the minerals and, the chlorophyll is so strong. It's like 1,000 times stronger than if you were to eat regular broccoli. And then I do lentils. I used to sprout black beans, garbanzo beans, and I would cook them. So nut seeds are amazing because you can sprout them and then, make them into milk. So now you're getting the chlorophyll, the extra minerals. And do you know that those sprouts actually, like nut seed sprouts and bean sprouts, actually attack candida? They kill the yeast in the body. They're so strong, they actually kill the yeast in the body. So I love that.
Brother Michael? Brother Michael? I think he fell off, Sister Agatha.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's Brother Michael. He's a raw vegan chef, by the way. That's why he said he has success. You heard him say he has health class.
Can you hear me?
Okay, there you go,
now
brother.
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I sprout everything because, if you don't sprout it, you get the anti-nutrients. It's like not kind of toxic to your body. But once you sprout them, you release them, and it's easily absorbable, and it has you boost the nutrients of the beans or seeds. So I really believe
like
in
1,000 times stronger. That's a fact. It's like 1,000 times stronger, and it attacks candida and yeast overgrowth in the body, and it becomes instantly digestible. Like, you digest it right away. People who can't eat beans, I tell them if you sprout beans and you cook them, you'll never have problems with gas. And same thing with broccoli. Broccoli sprouts are incredible, especially for women with hormonal issues. I always tell them, have broccoli sprouts on everything. Put it on your sandwiches, your salad, like everything.
Right, I do too.
Yeah, amazing.
Quick question. I want to ask you a question. If I have a bag of, let's say, organic navy beans, how long would I have to sprout them? Because, this will be a different subject. And when we have you come back, sis, because there's so many different things. You see, I have some very aware listeners, and a lot of them are trying to change their diets and go into getting into good nutritional habits. So how long in some shungite water, because I have shungite stones I use over here for my water, and I've done an alkaline test with the pH strips, and it's 8 I forgot what the other one, but it's very alkaline. But a lot of people, we have to do a segment on shungite, all right, because that's very good for neutralizing waters and impurities out of the water. Let me, unless if I'm wrong, if you can hit me to something over there, Sister Agatha, please pull my coat to something when it comes to shungite. But I've used it now for the last year. Wonderful results. How long would you have to?
I don't know.
You don't know about shungite?
About
Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, maybe you might want to put that in your notes and check it out, because it's mined out of Russia. And Dr. Jacqueline Ali, she's coming on next Saturday, she ordered a bag of shungite stones. When you order, you have to order the elite shungite, all right? And they show on a documentary where there was a dirty stream, and they threw a handful of shungite stones in, and it just purified the stream. Or anything that was rolling downstream, it purified it downstream, coming in dirty, and then it got purified, I think, like 20 feet down, or
wow.
Could have been longer, So it's a powerful stone, But if I wanted to, let's say if I put some beans, even in distilled water, how long would it take for those beans, organic beans, to sprout normally?
Well, the way I like to sprout is with a sprouting jar. I like to put only about a cup or a half a cup of beans in the jar, because you get double or triple, the amount when you sprout. Yeah. No, not just the swelling. Just when it grows, like when the sprouts literally grow. Because you eat that. I eat that part too. So what I do is I'll soak it in water overnight, right. 24 hours. Then I'll rinse it, turn it upside down in the jar. I like to put it in the cabinet. If you put it in the cabinet, close the door, the sprouts love the dark. They sprout better in the dark. So for me, that's how I do it. Lentils, 2 days, 3 days tops, you have lentils. Chickpeas are harder. The bigger the bean, the harder it is to sprout them. Like a dookie bean sprout easy, mung beans sprout easy, lentils. I used to sprout my quinoa. I used to sprout my rice, brown rice. When I was raw vegan, I sprouted quinoa, rice. What else did I sprout? Buckwheat. I used to sprout buckwheat. I used to sprout even some herbs that I used to sprout. I can't think. What was that one herb? I can't think of the name right now. It's not coming to me. But I would sprout all that, and then I would always cook it and eat it. I wouldn't even eat grains unless they were sprouted, because grains, like I said, they used to make me deathly ill. But now because I cleaned my body a lot too with parasite cleanses, yeast mold cleanses. I've done a lot of things too, but just I noticed buying the wheat from Italy was a game changer for me. But because here, even the Italians say, why are the Americans like carbohydrate phobic? Like, why don't they want carbohydrates? I said, because the carbohydrates in America make you deathly ill. The carbohydrates here do not.
Well, okay, so what you're saying is 24 hours. Let's say if I get a 16-ounce jar, and I want to make some beans. So what I do is I put the organic beans, I fill the jar halfway up, then fill the water to the top, and put it in a dark space in your cabinet.
Yeah, for 1 day, like overnight, not even a day, overnight. I do that. The water part I do overnight.
Right.
Okay. Then you dump the water out. Just give it a quick rinse. Turn the jar upside down so it's always draining, right?
Right.
And then I keep it in the cabinet. Within 2 to 3 days, like, you got really nice sprouts. And then I cook. Then I would cook them like I normally would. I would either put them in a pressure cooker or a crock pot, and I would cook my beans. I'd make lentil soup that way, or I'd make hummus. I'd cook them, and then I'd make hummus that way. That's how I used to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out, because I was just boiling them, and then but at a low heat, let them simmer a little longer. Okay, all right. Anybody else? Do we have any questions? Because I want to hold my dear Agatha up, because I know Rashad. By the way, brother Rashad, are you there, brother?
Yes, I am, and I want to.
Okay, go right ahead, brother.
Okay, thank you, Sister Agatha. You're right on point with everything. Beautiful information. There was a digestive enzyme you named, a brand name you named, but I didn't catch it. Could you spell that for me?
Sure. There's 2 that I like. One is from Thorne. That's the company. THORNE. Thorne. THORNE.
Oh, okay.
And that's Advanced Digest enzymes. They're called enzymes. Yeah, that. And then the other one is from a company called Vera Vita. VERVITA. Vervita, actually, Vervita. VERVITA.
Okay.
And they have Gastro Digest.
Gastro Digest. And I wanted to ask you about that because there's someone who wants to know, because they have a lot of gas. And they've tried a lot of things. Is there something you can recommend?
Well, when I hear gas, that tells me gallbladder. And I know that gallbladder is not working the way it should. And that's when I love Golden Thread. Now, a lot of people are talking about Burbine. You know Burbine? Have you heard of Burbine? People are finally talking about it. Yeah, but that's what Golden Thread is. That herb is a Burbine, right? So that really cuts through gas, yeast, gets that. It's really incredible for yeast. And it's great for balancing the insulins. It's incredible for balancing your insulin. And it's also really incredible for any kind of, like yeast infections, even in women that have severe yeast infections. And it's great for gas and just getting that gallbladder moving. And it's also, Burbine now, they're using it for cholesterol. It's been incredible for people with high cholesterol because they're learning that cholesterol is the gallbladder because you're not absorbing your fats properly. You're just not, your fats are not being absorbed right. Your gallbladder is not working properly, and that's why you have, cholesterol too. So I love Golden Thread. That's one of my favorite herbs.
Yeah, her gallbladder was removed several years ago, and she's been having gastric problems for a long time.
Yep. I would do both. I would do the Golden Thread and the digestive enzyme.
Okay, I got you. Okay. And the milk, is it MALK?
Yes.
Almond milk.
Yeah, they have all kinds of nut milk.
And you can order this online.
You could order it online, and I know I actually saw it at ShopRite the other day.
ShopRite?
Yeah. I noticed that, local stores are starting to carry some of these products now.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I always call it Shop Wrong, but,
It is Shop Wrong. I only run there if I need, like, almond milk or something crazy, like I'll just run there for little things. But they did have it. I saw it there.
Wow. I never seen it in Whole Foods at all.
They used to carry it all the time. They had the pecan milk, which was delicious. They had pecan milk, walnut milk. But now I haven't seen it there since Amazon took it over. I haven't seen it there anymore.
Amazon took it over. As a matter of fact, at one time, they had a machine there where you can
yes.
make fresh milk.
Yes.
That disappeared.
Yeah.
Took it out.
They did.
And
I remember that.
Fact, so many good things that they used to sell, they don't sell it no more.
Since Amazon took over.
Yeah, Amazon took over.
Amazon ruined the Whole Foods store, believe me. And
all these big, if you notice, all these small organic companies are now being bought out by companies like that. Like Nestle just bought,
yes.
Right? Apple cider vinegar. Bragg's apple cider vinegar was just bought by Bill Gates. Bill Gates just bought Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Yes. I wouldn't touch that now. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it now.
When Bill Gates puts his hand on it, forget about it.
Well, and he has that new label, the Appeal. Okay, you're gonna tell me they're not gonna use Appeal apples in that Bragg's apple cider vinegar now? I don't trust it.
I wouldn't.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Yeah, this is what happens. Like these little mom and pop organic places are being purchased by big companies. That's what's happening across the board now. A lot of people who were keto were buying Vital Protein, and now Nestle's purchased them.
So much time.
Yeah, these conventional companies just buying up everything, and nothing's going to be the same.
Oh, man. You got to start getting your energy from breathing fresh air if you can find that.
That's why I always say eat a plant-based diet as much as you can, fresh.
Yep.
Whatever. Because
you got to make it yourself.
You're tampering with
Yep,
it.
you got to make it yourself, and you got to grow it yourself if you can. And trust me, you don't need that much space to grow a lot of vegetables. You really don't.
I know.
I'm Italian, and we've grown vegetables our whole life. My mother, in the tiniest little yards, we grew string beans, tomatoes, eggplants, cauliflower, kale. I mean, you don't need much space to grow veggies.
Mm-hmm.
Permission to speak after Brother Rashad.
Oh, yeah. That's Brother Leon. He wants permission to speak after you finish, Brother Rashad.
Okay, just one more thing. I was listening to Gary No, because he said he went to Italy. I know you mentioned you have family over there.
Yes, I do.
And I forget what part of Italy it was, but these people live more in a mountain region, and they grow everything. And he said the food is totally different from what you have here, especially with the pastas, the tomato sauces. And these are people who work the farm every day, and a lot of these people are very elderly and strong.
Oh, my God, so strong.
This diet, they have that plant-based diet. And I don't know, they might eat meat too, but they just eat off the land. And that's what we need here, because most people here just run to the store, buy this and that, and it doesn't matter to them what it does to their body as long as it tastes good.
It's terrible. You know what it is, though? Because my cousins, my family in Italy, they're very big cooks there. Everyone cooks. I cook too. I always cooked my whole life. I was raised that way, right? So my cousins are like, well, why don't Americans cook? They don't cook at all. They don't like to cook. I said, because they're exhausted. They come home. They leave the house at 9 in the morning. They don't come home from work till 7, 8 o'clock at night. They're commuting. That's why they don't cook. I said, it's like people don't understand the American way of life is extremely stressful. Like here, they're happy people. They work less. They don't make as much, but the food quality is incredible. And I come from a mountain region, too. I come from Calabria, and there were some walks, like we're walking up these steep mountains to see certain, like, castles and things like that. I was sightseeing, and I'd see an 80-year-old man just pass right past me, zoom right by, because he was used to walking those mountains, and I'm not. I walk city streets. I walk here all the time. I love to walk, but it's different when you're walking up and down a mountain. It's totally different than you're walking on flat ground. Those people are strong. My mother died at 95. That woman was a beast. She was so strong. She could open any jar. She took care of that garden until she died. Like, my mother was strong. And I remember when my Chinese medicine doctor met her, he said, he took her pulse. That's what they do. They take their pulse, they look into their eyes, and he's very monotone. He speaks very low. And he's like, she has the pulse of a lumberjack. And I started laughing. And he goes, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. These people don't exist here, Agatha. You don't understand. This is a woman that's been fed off the land. I said, yes, 100%. She was a farmer. And he said, and this doesn't exist here. She's stronger than you. I said, I know she's stronger than me. You don't have to tell me. I know it. But it's true. It's when you grow and are fed off the land, it's a totally different body and strength and health. It's 100% different.
And I hear that they take their time cooking their food. It might take a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Yes.
Cook food, so you have a very nutritious meal. And they don't rush eating. They take their time to converse. We don't do that here. We'll sit here and gobble it all up and go about our business.
It's true. And, they don't even bring you a check in a restaurant until you ask for it. They will never bring you a check until you ask for it. And there are things that take days to make. like they'll make certain breads and biscuits and things that take days. They make certain stews that might take 2 days to cook. Like that is how it is. And they're still cooking like that. Even the younger people are even cooking like that.
Yeah, so if we get more people to cook like that, and like I said, Mediterranean diet is one of the best diets that you can eat.
I feel that way. I do. If you ever watch The Blue Zone, watch it on Netflix, all of you. Watch The Blue Zones on Netflix. It's new now. It's pretty incredible.
Blue Zone on Netflix. I'm writing it down. Okay.
Yeah, they show people in Japan, in Italy. I forget where the other 2 regions are now. It's not coming to my mind. But just the way they eat and how they are. They were showing the Japanese that the older people sit on the ground, so every time they get up, they're getting up and down from the ground, and that's keeping their muscles so strong. I mean, it's great. The Blue Zone, it's incredible. Netflix, watch it. It's very good.
Hey, Rashad, I'm going to bring on Leon, but Leon, before I bring you on, but I want to say this. You said up and down. It's funny, I saw a yogi one time. He was doing some yoga, and the gentleman was in the lotus position. He just sprang right up like it was nothing. And I said, wow, he's been practicing yoga for so long. His legs are that strong. Well, he's in lotus, and he just got up very slowly. I was like, wow. And I tried that. I was like, I got up a little bit, but I couldn't get up the way he did. Brother Leon, go right ahead, brother. I'm sorry, go ahead, Agatha. You want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We got Brother Leon with the next question. Go ahead, Brother Leon. Thank you, Brother Rashad.
Yeah, I'm just going to be quick because you are a wealth of information. And over in the Western countries, it's very green over there. That's why everything is so natural. The other thing I want to say is, stragglers, I like how you asked what he would be using it for, because that is correct. Stragglers is used for a lot more than what was said, but it's also so that people can know it's a blood thinner also. So
yes, it is a blood thinner.
Yeah, it's a blood thinner. And so I'm not going to say we have to be careful, because it does take care of a lot of things: the liver, the kidneys, the plaque that goes through our arteries, through our heart. It eats that. If it's clogged, it does eat that. But I just wanted everybody to know that it is a blood thinner. So be mindful of that. And the other thing I wanted, what was the Netflix thing you said watch?
It's called The Blue Zone.
Okay, I'll look it up. The other thing I wanted to ask you is your website. You said you had a website. What was that called?
It's cleanclearbody.com.
Cleanclearbody.com.
Yes, that's my website.
Right. Do you have a YouTube page?
I don't. I have an Instagram though, cleanclearbody.com.
Okay. Thank you. And you're a wealth of information.
Thank you. And Hawthorne is another blood thinner. It's an incredible histamine, and it's really high in vitamin C, but that's also a blood thinner. So a lot of these herbs, if you're on blood thinners, you got to be careful. But so is ginger. Ginger is a blood thinner too, and so is turmeric. Turmeric actually thins the blood also. So a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, turmeric more so than ginger. But, so if you're on blood thinners, those are herbs you want to stay away from.
Yeah, the turmeric I can stay away from. The ginger, that helps with your blood sugar, so it does bring your blood sugar down. I'll be careful, because a lot of these things are blood thinners, I'm listening, I study a lot, so. And I take a straggler. So, and another thing also, so the listeners can understand and know, all this is fine. Everything is fine. All the information is fine. When you're taking all natural products like this, if you're taking 3 months on, you got to stop taking it for a month. You got to give your body a chance to rest when you're taking anything. I don't care what it is, how healthy it is, how natural it is. You gotta go on and off. You can't just take it straight, or you should not just take it straight. You should give your body a rest of taking anything all natural.
I tell my clients, take the weekends off every weekend.
I do.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question, because I just came across something else that I found to be unique when I was listening, and this happened on Forrester's show too last Saturday. Gentleman says you have Tylenols cut in half and take one half every 15 minutes, and it works better and longer like that. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't, because I don't know much about medicine, and I don't like the side effects of it. So that's why I don't know much at all. I mean, medicine to me, like Tylenol is giving so many people liver issues, and it's also giving people like ulcers. Like, I'm not big on, things like that.
Okay. All right. I just want to know. Thank you. I appreciate the conversation. Just the listeners, just remember, anything you take, do the research on it. Totally do the research. And anything, like I said, you take an all natural. And you're right, because that's what I didn't do. I didn't take it. I not only did not take it on the weekends, I still didn't take it for a month after taking it for 3 months.
Yeah, good. You should take. I say when you parasite cleanse, I tell a lot of my clients, do it like your taxes every 3 months, but only do it for first time you got to do it for probably about 3 months to get everything really out.
Right.
But then I say do it every 3 months for 90 days, and that's it. Every 3 months for 90 days. Parasite yeast, and that's it. You shouldn't be taking herbs every single day. No way. Right. And after your 3 months, you should take 3 months off and then do it every 3 months, 90 days.
And I'm finished. I regress.
Well, thank you, Brother Leon. Okay, now, I don't want to hold the sister up. Anybody else? Because if that's it, Sister Agatha will give out her contact information for anybody who's interested, so you can have a
one more question.
Conversation. Go right ahead, Brother Michael.
I agree with that. Like, sometimes I tell people to take a herb and stop for a while, see if you notice a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it works, or maybe it doesn't. Some people can't tell. If you keep taking a herb, you won't really know. But if you stop for a little while, you may notice a difference. Oh, yeah, that worked, or no, it did not work. So that's the most important part I think people should do, is to test that herb out, is to stop taking it sometime.
And not just that, like you're cleansing all the time when you're on herbs, right? So when you cleanse, you're not just cleansing the bad stuff, you're cleansing the good stuff too.
Stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're cleansing, what do you think? The body knows, oh, okay, let's get rid of the yeast, but let's hold on to the vitamin B? No. Let's hold on to the iron? No, it doesn't work that way. A lot of times when you cleanse, the body goes into a cleanse mode, and you're cleansing vitamins, minerals, everything. So you don't want to cleanse constantly. You just want to detoxify, and then, you want to stable off from that, and that's it.
Yeah, cleanse and rebuild. Cleanse and rebuild.
Right. Exactly. 1,000%. Mhm.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice. I enjoyed myself.
Yes, I'm glad you did, sis, because now you are a family member of Grown Folks Talking, and I'm gonna be coming over there to see you shortly. I'm gonna make an appointment. Just and family, understand something. It's also good just to get yourself checked in a more natural sense, because most of us up here have insurance. I got Medicaid/Medicare, and I haven't been to the doctor in a while because I don't feel anything wrong with me. I do go get my blood work done, all right, and I get from my blood work I get my basic what I need to know, But the doctors look at me, they're like. And they can't believe I'm not on any medications, because when I passed the secretary, she said, "Mr. Nance, you on any medications?" No. And she looked at me. She said, "I said, Mr. I said, sis, no." She said, "Well, you'd be surprised. You got people coming in at 40s and 50s they're on at least 1 or 2 medications."
Everyone's on medication. Everyone.
I told him, I said, no, I'm not on medication. The majority, she said, there's only one other person in here comes in like you, and we have over 1,000 clients here. I was like, well, that's good. She said, well, keep on doing what you're doing, Mr. Nance. And when the doctor comes, you start, and just to share with you real quick, I got my blood work done time before last. My last one was good, but you're talking about liver. So when I went in for my time before last blood checkup, reading off my blood work that I got done there, they said, Mr. Nance, do you drink? I said, no. They said, and he looked at me, he said, you don't drink? I said, no, I don't drink. I never have. Because he was telling me that I had high
enzymes?
Enzymes, yes, in my liver. Now, what I did was, and I started cutting it out. Sometime when I have blueberries, they might ferment a little, and I'll put them in my smoothie. And I knew where he got that from because it always has like the alcohol taste in it. And that's where he was picking up on that. Then I went back. I stopped, and I went back. I said, well, Doc, how's my liver reading? He said, oh, you're fine, Mr. Nance. You stopped drinking? He started laughing because he knows I didn't drink. I told him that. And I said, no. And I explained to him it was fermented blueberries. That's what they were picking up in my blood,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lesson learned, that your blood is very sensitive. And in the words of Charlotte Gershwin, who most people who are familiar with on this line, she said, the life of the body is in the blood. And that is so true. We have to watch what we do. And, I was talking, I've had her on the show, Dr. Avery Alexander. She reversed her stage 4 cancer. I had her on. And I was talking to her a few days ago, and she told me, she said, Mr. Nance, there's an experiment that I just watched. And they fed rats a lot. Whatever they wanted to eat, they just let them gorge on some food. And in the other cage, they limited the rats to what they ate, but they ate good food. And those rats that ate good food, and they practiced not eating, all right, but they fed the other rats everything they want, just kept the whatever the trough or whatever they're eating out of full. They said those rats, the other rats outlived them by 2.5 years. Okay,
mm-hmm.
So we all have to be mindful of what we put in our stomachs, because today most of y'all would have been like, oh, I got to eat something. I had a friend of mine who said to me, I'll never forget, he has a podcast on Blog Talk. He said, I ain't nothing all day. I got to eat something. I'm not hungry, but I just say, ain't nothing all day. I got to eat. I said, Jay, why do you have to eat something you're not hungry? He stopped. He said, that makes sense. Why do I have to eat? I'm not hungry. So we just got to be aware, because we're programmed. We've been programmed since we were kids. Wonder Bread builds your body 12 strong ways. Got milk. Remember that commercial with the guy who had the milk mustache, There's a lot of things. And we're not even going to get into the cigarette culture. Oh, Lord. My uncle passed. He had stomach cancer. My other uncle, he smoked. He had prostate. My mother died when I was 19. She had pancreatic cancer. My Aunt Mel, she passed, even though she lived past her sister, who was my aunt, lived past her. She died in 1977, and I went to see her in the hospital. And I'm going to tell you, family, there's nothing that will touch you more than a family member who's dying from cancer. You go to see him in the hospital, and when the doctor came in, he unraveled the sheet, because they like to give you the little knee bend while you're in the bed. And when he pulled back that sheet, my aunt's leg was as big as my pinky, and I had to turn away, because when you love someone the way I love my family and my aunt, and you have to look, you don't want them, you don't want them. They don't want you gawking at them in that position. You're looking at them, and I had to turn away. And luckily, my uncle walked in the room. Okay, he's the one later on that passed away from prostate cancer. Okay, so and they put him in hospice, and we knew what time it was for him with that. Families that smoke, and don't get me wrong, family, I'm not saying that some people have said in ignorance, well, I know somebody that smoked lived to be 95 and 100, but are you willing to take that chance? Go right ahead, because you're tempting the hands of fate, I would say. So, and I never understood why somebody would want to put something in their mouth just to blow it out. And also, and I know you know about this, Agatha, I'm going to end on this part, research has shown all these people smoking weed. Now it's being found out through research in the different universities and on the peer-reviewed literature, which I'm sure you're familiar with, that prolonged smoking marijuana can cause stroke and heart disease. And it can also cause cancer, just like cigarettes. So, family, for those of you out there that smoke a little weed because you're trying to feel good, and I share this with friends. I got a lifelong friend of mine still smoking. He tried to stop. He was sick and got back on it. And I tried to explain to him, but you could lead a horse to water, all right? That weed ain't good for you. Anything, if you think about it, are your lungs designed to take in any type of smoke? And you remember now, you know some of them people, they smoke that weed. Ooh, that's good stuff. Okay, no.
Yeah, no, people, it's bad. Lung cancer.
Yes, the science is
very
telling you
bad.
that marijuana smoke. Now, you could have it in the oil form or edible. Yes. That's good, but not that smoke.
It's better, yeah.
Cut that out there. And I'm sorry, some of y'all listen. Y'all might do a little puff every now and then, but it's not good in the long run. You know, I just wanted to share that with you, family.
I have a question. I'm glad you brought that up because I have a question about that. This young lady, she says she has pain in her body, and her body hurts, and she can't sleep. And she said the only way the doctor's been trying to give her all different kinds of medicine to help her, and the only way she can not hurt and she have to go to work so she can operate and function right is to smoke some weed so she won't hurt so bad.
Well, you know what? I have a nephew that went to class for marijuana. He goes to the distillery out there in Ohio, okay? Smoke every time I talk. See, something is unnatural about that. I'm sure there's another. We'll check with Sister Agatha or even Brother Rashad. Now that Brother Rashad, we could do a dual thing here. But the thing is, you ever notice that when people do any type of anything that could alter the mind, they have that dry voice. Like my nephew would talk to me like that. Yeah, okay, yeah, man, I gotta go to the. I'm like, that's not natural. You hear how I'm talking.
Doesn't have any of that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there has to be an alternative, and you have people like Brother Rashad mentioned, Gary Knowles, been a scientist for 45 years. They give you the alternative. Like take Sister Ernestine, Devil's Claw, Cat's Claw, all right, Boswellia. These are things we don't know about. See, nutrition is education. There's a lot of things she may not even, I guarantee you she wouldn't know about. Maybe she needed to go in a different direction. Marijuana has its benefits. Maybe she needs to take it in a different way. What do you guys think, Rashad or Brother or Sister Agatha? Y'all can answer that. What do you think?
I also agree that smoking is horrific, and it also burns brain cells that way. Not only is it bad for your lungs, but it's bad for your brain. But when you take it in a food or in an edible, it is definitely more medicinal. And to be honest, you know what it makes it even better is if you take it in a suppository, if you put it in your rectum, because then it goes right to the liver and it heals much faster. Like, so people that have like colon cancer, different kinds of cancers, the best way is to put it in the rectum, because I think when you take it in your mouth, I think only 5%, if I remember correctly, 5 to 10% is absorbed. When you take it in your rectum, it's like 90% is absorbed. So if you do have, so if you do have cancer, or if you're taking it for an illness, that's the way really to go. And they say you should mix it with shea butter, actually, I've heard, or glycerin. But I would do it probably if I had to do something like that. If I was ill, I would probably mix the oil with coconut oil, and I don't know, I would put it in that way. But they say there's more absorption if you do it even in. No, I was wrong about the shea butter. I'm sorry. It's not shea butter. It's white coconut butter. Like what they make white chocolate with, because the fat will bring it in deeper into the body. So if you take like who's the chef, the raw chef. But if you take that white chocolate, melt it, and then put it in like suppository molds, and then add coconut oil in there, and then use it as a suppository that way.
Yeah, so she needs to explore a different way, because anything, I guess, that we deal that deals with the altering of the mind, we got the dopamine section, the right side, the left side of the brain, and then we would have to bring in somebody that deals with that, because we've had shows on where people will explain. In fact, Sister Agatha, after this show's over at 8:30, in case you got a little time, all right, and you want to kick your feet up, and you can put the phone on mute like the rest of the listeners, we have Sharon Clements. And she gives classes on fasting. She's coming on. This is the last show of the evening behind mine. So you might want to listen to Sister Sharon, because she's a wealth of information, just like you are, and Brother Rashad. And Brother Leon and Brother Bay. I know Brother Bay over here listening. Sister Carol, all of us up here. We all try to educate and inspire each other. And people that come on don't know things. This is how we learn. It's like you said, you know the old saying, each one teach one. That's what we do up here, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's been really wonderful.
Yes. Well, on that note, sister, I want to thank you for coming on. And one more time, can you give out, before you give out your contact information, those out there in listening land, please get your pen and paper ready, all right? And Sister Agatha will take calls. And I'll report back to you, because Ariel's going to take me out to Hackensack, and I'm going to visit her for massage or whatever the case may be. She's going to I'm going to consult with her, and she'll let me know what's best for me. I'm coming out there to get it. So go right ahead, Sister Aggie. You give out your contact information, what you care to give out.
Well, right now it's cleanclearbody.com. Everything's on there, but I have to tell you, at the moment right now, I can't get even anyone in for maybe a month or two. Like, I'm pretty backed up, because I'm always backed up, but when I went away to Italy, people haven't been here in so long that I got so booked up so fast. So, but I do have a waiting list, right now, and you could, email me at cleanclearbody@gmail.com, because on my website, you could just send me a message through my website, and then I'll tell you how long I can put you on a waiting list and stuff. Okay.
Well, family, you heard it here from Sister Agatha. I mean, obviously she's doing something that works. It's just like a good restaurant. They stay crowded if they got good food, good clean food, that is. Because I've seen a lot of stores opened up, and they didn't stay open past that first year, So on behalf of the Grown Folks Talking Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network, you're a family member now, Sister Agatha. We're going to bring you back. And I look forward to visiting you once I can squeeze in that schedule. And I want to thank you, like I said, once again for coming on. And family, you have the information, and we'll bring Sister Agatha back sometime next year, because before you know it, this year is after next month. We're in the new year, 2024. So
yes, unbelievable.
Yeah. So Sister Agatha, peace and blessings to you.
Thank you, Sister Agatha.
Yeah, well, thank you. And Sister Adrian, you have her number, so I guess you'll be in contact. We should put Sister Adrian on the waiting list. She's very diligent on her end. So
okay.
I guess you'll be hearing from Agatha, Adrian. Adrian, make sure you pick up your phone, please, because sometimes you know how you are on pickups. I guess you could always leave a message. All right. So thank you, Sister. I'm gonna let you go, and don't forget if you get a time, sis, listen to the 8:30 show if you have time. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Bye now.
You too.
Yes, you too.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay,
healing
now, family,
blessings.
You too. Thank you. Now, before we go to the listening audience, I just want to say I want to give you a lineup real quick. Now, y'all know we got Miss Carol listening, and she's going to start the day off tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the prayer call. All right? Now, behind me, Sister Sharon Clements is going to be up. So we're going to shut the show down in a few minutes after I make the announcement, and I want you guys to tune back in at 8:30 because she gives a wealth of information. All right? Also, tomorrow, like I said, we're going to start off our day with a prayerful wonderful Sister Carol's getting good, boy. I think she's gonna build her own church in about another year, boy. She sounds so great in the morning. 7 a.m. we start a prayer call with Sister Carol, praise call, and then at 1 o'clock we got Sister Deborah's nephew and Sister Ernestine's son, a young man. Now we always talking about supporting young people. Well, guess what? Step up to the plate. Dr. James, you should be up by then. Tune into the young man tomorrow at 1 a.m. in the afternoon. Brother Aaron. And Sister Deborah, what's the name of his show? Sister Deborah, you still on, sis?
A Safe Place with Aaron.
What's the name of it, Mr. Williams? I'm sorry.
Safe Place with Aaron.
Safe Place with Aaron. All right, young man. Where we're talking about supporting young people. Well, step up to the plate, Dr. James. I know you take yourself off mute. You can keep yourself on mute. I'd like to have you come in and talk to the young man tomorrow. We need to show support to our young people. Then at 3 o'clock, guess what, family? We had a real good time with Sister Deborah at 4 o'clock up here playing music. That took us back to that time when we were younger, and we all had a very good time. All right. We wore bell bottoms, and the platform shoes and the big afros. I know I had a mini afro, but I kept that flat top. So we're going to do 3 o'clock tomorrow with some wonderful music from back in the day, and you can, we're going to take requests, okay? Then at 5 o'clock we got Brother Bay and Coach T with Knowledge is the New Power, all right? That comes on at 5. Then at 7. Sister Deborah, who I just called for, I think she fell asleep after eating a Snicker bar. So 7 p.m.
She probably clicked over.
Oh, she clicked over. Oh, okay. 7 p.m., Positive Impact. And then, listen, Sister Agatha just gave us wonderful knowledge when it comes to health and nutrition. Y'all got to hear Brother Abdul, the health man, at 9 p.m. All right, everybody tunes in to Brother Abdul, all right? And, as you know, when he gives the lesson, wonderful sense of humor. Now, 2 other people I would be remiss if I didn't mention. My dear brother Rashad was supposed to say something tonight, but we went a little over, but it benefited us all. So hopefully the brother be back with us next week. And, Rashad has been with me from day one. So that's my ride or die brother out there, And he'll be on next week. I know he's probably having some nice little organic lentil soup right now. He said, I ain't got to talk tonight. Let me enjoy this soup over here. And
had it.
Oh, yeah, but he had it. Okay, brother. All right. And then now what he's doing is fasting there before he goes to sleep because, you got to let it digest before you lay down. And then also we got Professor Williams, okay, who was my African American studies teacher in high school. He's my technician. He's the brother that plays the music when you guys came in, And I'm just blessed to have the brother after all these years. He found me. And he's on, and as you know, his show comes on. I'm going to have my family step up real quick and mention their shows, starting with we're going to start with the A's, so don't feel slighted, Miss Carol. I want you guys to announce your shows and what time it comes on, because it's 8:12. I'm supposed to be off at 8:15. The next show is 8:30. Sharon Clements. Y'all got to listen to her. She's a wealth of information. Miss Adrian, tell people about your show, and we're going to do roll call. Brother Leon and everybody else. Brother Bay, if you're on, go right ahead, Sister Adrian.
Well, my show comes on Fridays at 6 p.m. It's called Can We Talk with Adrian, where we talk about the community, education, some politics, and a little religion. We talk a little bit about everything. Can We Talk with Adrian, Fridays at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Miss Adrian. Now we're going with the C's. Miss Carol, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, go right ahead, Miss Carol.
I'm Carol Lucille, and my podcast is the Pink Sofa Talk. The Pink Sofa Talk comes on every Tuesday at 7:30, and we are ladies only on the first and third Tuesdays of the month. Second and fourth Tuesday, men are welcome to join us, and we talk about a variety of things.
All right. Well, That's okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Carol. And she starts off our day every day, family, righteous.
Oh, yes.
7 a.m. Go ahead,
And
Ms. Carol.
7 a.m. is the prayer call. Every morning at 7 a.m., we do our devotion. We have prayer. If you have specific prayer needs, we address them. And every Saturday, we share our praise reports. And every first Sunday of the month, we have a worship service.
Well, thank you, Ms. Carol. Now, I think my dear Brother Leon is on. Brother Leon, you on there, brother?
What about Deborah?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brother Leon. Hold on for a minute. Sister Deborah, you there? I remember the call for her, but she wasn't. Hopefully she clicked back over. You there, Sister Deborah? Mic check. Well, I think she done clicked over for the rest of the night there, Miss Carol. Brother Leon, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to announce when your show comes on, brother?
Show comes on every last Monday of the month. It's called the King's Roundtable. Matter of fact, this month, actually, it's an all-men's support group, but this month, it will be open up to everybody. And I'm trying to get as many young people as I can to come on. This is going to be another banger. For the space.
Oh.
You hear that?
Yeah, I know you ain't got the air conditioner on.
That's not me, brother. That's not coming from me, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Mr. Williams don't have the air conditioner. He's down in Virginia. Okay. Mr. Williams. Okay, so Brother Leon, so was that it? Or you want to add more onto that?
No, that's
it.
Yeah.
Okay, my brother. Appreciate it.
I think the 27th is the King's Roundtable.
Yeah.
Please come on out. Definitely powerful.
The last Monday of the month, family, powerful show. My dear brother, Kings and Queens. Oh, I'm sorry, Kings and Goddesses. Okay. Mr. Williams, real quick, tell me about your show coming up.
Coming up on Fridays, every Friday, 8 p.m. Combating Systemic Racism through Education. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Williams.
Brother Bay and Sister Nabia.
Oh, okay. Brother Bay, go right ahead. Wait a minute. Ladies before the gentlemen, I'm sure Brother Bay would understand. Sister Nabia, let the people know about your show, sister. Sister Nabia, you on mute?
Deborah, you was calling me for us?
Is that Sister Deborah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, go right ahead. You took that little snooze, now you're up. Go right ahead and tell people about your show.
Yes, this is Deborah. My show is Sundays at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, Positive Impact, which is gospel music and encouragement for each and everyone that comes online. So be there or be square.
Well, go ahead, Sister Deborah. I hear you. We're talking with more ferocity than ever. Okay, Sister
we know
Nabia.
that board's going to be on.
Yeah. Sister Nabia, you there, sis? Can't find that mute button again, huh, Sister Nabia? Okay. Brother Bay.
Yes, my brother.
All right, go right ahead, my brother.
Yes, this is Brother Bay, and along with Coach T, we co-host a podcast called Knowledge is the New Power, and it's based on knowledge that will definitely shift your paradigm. And for those of you who are not familiar with a paradigm shift is defined as important change that happens when the usual way of thinking about or doing something is replaced by a new and different way. And what creates that shift or change in thinking is the new knowledge. And hint, knowledge is the new power. We look forward to spending some time, me and Coach T, spending some time with you every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bay. And if Sister Nabia, last call for Sister Nabia. Are you there, sis? Okay, well, I'll announce for her. She comes on, Sister Nabia comes on the 2nd and the 4th week of every Saturday, every month. And Sister Clemens is coming up, so Sister Nabia will be on next Saturday. And just to let you guys know, as the holidays come up, some people will be on, I guess, temporary leave with their families, if you believe in the holidays. But I just want to let you know that my show will be airing all the way through. If it fell on my birthday, I would have a nice little carrot juice here or carrot cake, cut it, and still be talking to you guys to let you know. Some of us will go through with our shows through the holidays, because if you celebrate the holidays, that's wonderful. That's your belief. My belief is we must keep going. All right? So I just want to let you know that. My show will still anchor on Saturdays. All right? Does somebody want to say something before we shut down? We're about to shut down.
Yes. Also, I wanted to say that we had an awesome show for Star on Monday. He wasn't feeling well, and I felt them for him. And because of that, I got a call for me to fill in for Francesca on Wednesday because she's not going to be able to do her show. So she asked me to make sure that I do something on that order, or maybe the same thing, but we were giving honor to our men for the things that they do. So I know that we're going to do something upbeat and positive, and I believe that we should all come with our song in mind. And I think that we should do something honoring the woman in my life. That'll be like part 2. So we have our songs and our expressions of love for our women and giving thanks to them. So that's what we'll be doing Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Okay, well, that sounds good. And Francesca, she's all over the place in a good way, because they always call her to do conferences and things of that nature. So when we have her, we cherish her. She's a gem. All right, family, on behalf of Grown Folks Talking Special Show, we'd like to thank you for coming in. Next week, we got Dr. Jacqueline Ali coming in. Y'all remember from out of Philadelphia. And then futuristic, we got Dr. K. Y'all remember him? The revolutionary holistic brother from Washington, D.C., December the 16th. And I'm looking for Dr. Coles out of Arizona to fill in between those 2 weeks. So peace and blessings. 8:30, Sister Clemens coming up. Go get something to drink, and, of course, make it good. No alcohol, Miss Adrian. And I'll see you guys at 8:30. Mr. Williams, again, the thing. Thank you. Hit me, Mr. Williams. Oh, Mr. Williams, you could, yeah, that's okay, Mr. Williams, because we're getting close to 8:30. You could shut it down. Thank you, family.